Nice to see you again. We'll start with the news of Liam Cooper's departure being confirmed and your reflections on that, please.
Well, I've spoken so much also about Liam in the past when he was my player. Also after his departure was clear, right now it's also officially more or less announced. If I'm honest, I've nothing to add. It was a pleasure and a privilege to be allowed to be his manager for the last 12 months. I've also played several times against him, also in his prime. What can I say? A fantastic footballer, fantastic human being. Unbelievable person. He's a real club legend. What he has done for this club in the last decade is more or less second to none. Also, he lives also our mantra, side before self, and yes, he will always be with us also in our hearts, and will always be a club legend. And what he has done also for this club, will live forever. And really, from the bottom of my heart, I wish him all the best, really, for the future, for whatever comes up, and probably also some exciting tasks. But I also know when I have a question or I need him with some recommendations, or I need him to be there and to support Leeds United, he is there within a second, and will be with us also in his thoughts. And again, it was a pleasure to be allowed to work with him.
Do you know if the club have any plans to honour his time properly yet?
No, it's also not up to me to announce it just in a press conference. So when there is something, I think the club will speak about this. But I think we have also made sure that he had the best possible farewell, also within the group, and also in the way, because he was also important in the last season. I think it's always what you are looking forward, that you go in the moment when perhaps everyone says, perhaps 1-2 more years was possible, instead of you stay too long and then everyone says, he should have retired 2 years ago, so he was not in his prime anymore. So I think it was also good that he finished really with a strong last season with 90 points. He didn't play each and every game, but he was still unbelievably important within our group. There was no doubt there was just one captain and one skipper in our group, that was Liam Cooper, and whenever you need to help also on the pitch, he was in there and delivered, and I could always count on him. And again, it was a privilege to work with him.
International break wise, the guys who were out on international duty, I know Brendan played during the week, Willie played recently as well. How have they all come through that period?
Yes, international break is what it is. For us, perhaps even a bit more difficult than perhaps for other clubs in this division. So for us, it was more or less 13 players who were away. That has affected our group. First week is then always a bit tricky, because we just had 8 field players there for first team players for training. We trained on then more like step by step. The lads were coming back. I think on Tuesday we trained with 10 outfield players. Yesterday was 11. Today, first time with 16, and we had still a few who just had a recovery session today. So we will just have one training session with the whole group together this tomorrow. There will be also some late decisions, because there were some small injuries. Nothing too bad. There's a big question mark behind Max Wöber, because he returned back with some knee problems with his meniscus, was not able to train so far. That's also the reason he missed the second game with Austria. So late decision with him. I think there's a big question mark behind his availability. Also some bad news with Daniel James, because he had a re-injury during his re-up training, and the re-injury sadly is even worse than the injury before. So the medical department told me he's out for about 4 weeks. Means we just expect him to be back available after the next international break. There is a little bit hope that perhaps in the last week before the international break there is perhaps a little chance, but it's also a bit tricky week with games on Tuesday and Friday. I'm not sure if he can make it already then there. So realistically, we expect him just to be back after the next international break. That's the situation with him. Yes, a few knocks and hits, like always when players have some games, but apart from that, everyone is back in training and hopefully should be available also for Saturday.
That's good news. Just lastly on that, how's Patrick Bamford getting on?
Yes, Patrick is back in team training since Tuesday. So for 2 days right now, back in training together with us. Or today it was the third day. Yes, once you're back in training, you're also available. But it's also a difference between being really available back in training and really match fit for 90 minutes. We have to keep in mind that he was not in team training for 11 weeks. Then back in the later stages of preseason for 3 weeks, and right now again out for 3 weeks. We will still be careful with him. So obviously he's not ready to play 90 minutes. No doubts about this. But it's definitely good that he's back in training since Tuesday, and definitely good news for us because he will be important during the season.
When you have players here, there, and everywhere on an international break, how does it look day to day for you, Daniel? How do you go around managing the players that are still here? What do you work on?
Yes, it's always a bit tricky. So on the one hand, you can't really work team tactically, or players who just joined us like Mano Solomon or Ayutaka, when without a training session they have to leave straight away and are just back for the training session tomorrow, 1 day before a game. It's of course not easy or not great. Or perhaps Isaac Schmidt was with us the last day, but also he just gets to know the team right now in this days. You have a bit more time for individual work that helps. Team tactically, it's always a bit tricky because you just can train with them tomorrow, and once they are away, they play in different setups, also with different principles, different style of football in their national team. It's always a bit tricky to prepare them really for the first game after the international break, because you literally just have 1 or 2 days. But we also don't complain about this, so it's a good problem to have, because it means also like we have many players on international duties, means we have proper players. So I know the first game is always a bit affected somehow and never that easy, but we are also used to it, and for that no complaints about this. We handle and adapt to the situation like there is. It's at least good to have them back at least today and then tomorrow back in training.
It's been a couple of weeks since the transfer window closed. Have you had chance to reflect with the recruitment team on how that's went? And if so, what are your thoughts a couple of weeks on?
No, it's not like after the transfer window is closed, you sit down together and then you analyze the window anymore, because you know what has happened and what we have done. And for me, there's also no time to reflect, of course. So within the recruitment team, there's always time then in order to speak about the process or whatever. But for me, it means like, okay, it's not like end of August and right now I can reflect for 2 weeks. It's more or less like, no, then the proper work really begins to integrate the new lads, and I have even less time in order to reflect on something, because it's important that players like Mano, like Ayo, like Isaac, largely that they get integrated and learn a lot with them. So we had many individual talks with them, showed them also scenes about our game, about our principles. So there's not much time for reflection. It's more like hard work is still going on. It's good that the rumors are right now done, and that we know that we have the group right now all together and we can work with them. I mentioned it's also exciting. A group with many young players, also many players who play the first time in the championship. It's also a great challenge for a manager, but also a good challenge to work with them, to improve them, to make them ready. We have a good basement group, and right now, if we can also make sure that the new lads settle in a proper way, then we have definitely also a competitive group together, and can also make sure that we play a season as successful as possible.
And just lastly from me, speaking of challenges, Burnley, the opponents on Saturday, it's probably people like us, the outside, who say it's an early marker for Leeds United, two of the favourites going head to head. How do you view that challenge, Daniel?
I think even the first games were really big tests and a big challenge, because away game at West Brom is unbelievably difficult. West Brom also a side who is more or less settled and didn't have that much fluctuation like, for example, us, or also Burnley, quite natural after a relegation, or a test against Hull, who is also one of the challengers for the top six. I'm 100% sure to be there with a really convincing home win and a clean sheet win was really good. But like you mentioned, in the Championship, each and every game is a challenge, and Burnley, without any doubt, one of the best sides in this league. Many mature players also on this level, a very experienced coach, and they will be also one of the big contenders for winning the title, for being there in the top 6 positions, automatic promotion positions, or at least the playoffs. And it's a really good side at the top start into this new season. A little setback perhaps in the last games, but overall we know that it's a tough task, and lots of individual quality within their team. Many experienced players also in the central position. We still know a few of them. So for that, yes, we have to be at our best. It's always a bit tricky when more or less 13 players are away. I'm not sure. I think for them it was a bit less, but at least we've got a home game and don't have to travel. So for that, yes, early kickoff on Saturday. I would have wished for a bit later kickoff, but sometimes you can't choose. It is what it is, and want to make sure that we also keep going with our good start and our good run, and also hopefully further on to stay unbeaten and with good defending behavior like in the last 3 games. And then we're also competitive and want to win as many points as possible.
Good luck for Saturday. Thanks for your time.
Hi Daniel, you talked at length about the number 10 situation last time we met, and I won't ask you to rehash that, but given the players you have, is there scope to do something slightly different with the formation to deal with that situation, or do you have enough versatility with Gnonto able to drift inside and be a central presence?
Well, I think it's important that you don't change your whole principles or your whole processes just because sometimes the player is not available or not injured or whatever. So for that, it's not like you say, okay, right now we go for proper traditional 4-4-2 long balls and we just go for second balls with 2 tall strikers. That's not our style. So we stick to our believings, we stick to our principles, how we approach a game and how we want to attack it, because just when there could be even an injury and then you can't change your whole processes, it's not possible. But it's also important that you also adapt a bit to the reality and you work and make the best out of what you've got. And I also spoke in length about it. We have also players who can fulfill a bit this creative role, perhaps not like a player like Jorginho Rüder has done this in the last season, but we have also players who can fulfill this role a bit in a slightly different way and also with their strengths. And I'm a big believer in you play the players also after your strengths and use their strengths, and for that we'll always also adapt our style a bit to the strengths of our players and who is available and who is in a good shape. And you also want to be flexible and want to have different scenarios. We've also during this season played with more like a goal scorer on this, if you want to call it, number 10 role, like Joel Pirot. We've played there with a player who's good against the ball and covers lots of distance, a bit sometimes with even a bit more creative players. So we have a few scenarios, and for that we'll keep going with what we've got and adapt to the reality. And so far we are unbeaten and we found some good solutions, and I'm quite hopeful and quite optimistic that we'll also find some good solutions also in the future.
How have your initial conversations and meetings with Isaac Schmidt gone? What do you make of him, and what do you want him working on as he settles in?
Yes, great guy. A bit like I mentioned also about all our new signings. I think still a really good age, because he's more like still on this way up the hill in his career. Great mentality, also desperate to play for the shirt, desperate to play for us. Great character, so really nice guy, really nice teammate. I think the lads love him already. But you also have to keep a bit in mind. So far he has not played in one of the top 5 leagues in Europe. So it's a different scenario than to play also like in a different country, also in this physical league. And I made the point clear, so the Premier League is for me the best in the world, but the Championship the toughest due to the load with the games, with the physicality. We'll also give him the time to adapt a bit to this, and we have also some proper options, especially on the fullback positions where his best position is. And it's not like he comes straight into the team and cuts the league into pieces. But he's an important squad player, and we will bring him to the door. We'll work with him. We will try to lift his his potential to make the best possible player out of him, and then it's up to him to grab the chance with both hands, to make the steps through the door. Once a player has not played on this level, it's always difficult to give a guarantee that he will be one day the best fullback in this league, but he has lots of potential, and also great mentality and a great character, and we will work with him. Yeah, also lots of competition for him, but we are happy that we have him as an option.
Hi Daniel, we know that some transfer windows are still open. Can you reassure fans that nobody might leave at the last minute to these other countries?
Haven't really thought about this, if I'm honest. So for that, never say never. Yeah, that's right. But we're not tempted at all, because we still have. So we got the at least for signing that I wanted, but I still got the feeling. So our group is definitely not too big, and we can't afford to lose any more player right now. So for that, I would say 99.9%. So no player will leave.
Thank you. Ayo Tanaka is somebody we're led to believe you like for a little while, and somebody you might have looked at last summer. What's Ayo going to bring to the team, and what are you excited about what he might do in that midfield department with Ethan, for example?
Yes, Ayo is a player I really admire. So, and if I tell you a secret, I tried even 12 months ago to sign him, because I was so desperate. Even before the scouting knew him, I recommended him because I've also followed him. Obviously, I was in charge in Germany in the Bundesliga, and he caught my eyes. Although also in the second time, I tried everything also in the last season to bring him in, because I'm fully convinced of his qualities, because again, good age, really good and tidy on the ball, good passing skills. He can score a goal and find a pass during his career for the Japanese national team, but also in the second tier in Germany. Out of number 8 role, he has scored goals, he has assisted, he also plays the second class pass. I really like him, because we also like to dominate the game. We like to dominate possession, and that quite naturally I like also players who are tidy on the ball and are good with the ball and smart. And it's the same for him. It's also a big challenge and a big honor to have this move to England for a big club like Leeds United. He's desperate to play for us, but a bit the same with Isaac. So he hasn't played on the top level so far, at least not for his club and for his country. He is already experienced, but obviously he comes from the second tier in Germany, so we will give him also a bit time to adapt to this. But the first glimpses are promising, I have to say. Also, I liked his first cameo when he came in. I wouldn't overinterpret this, because the game was also done. We were 2-0 in lead, and then everything is a bit easy, but he has shown there also that he has good passing choices, good passing skills. He's a great character as well, so always good sense of humor, I have to say. So really like him, good guy to have around, but the same. So it's difficult to predict right now that he will be the best midfield player in this league, because he has not played 1 minute so far. And again, so it's also like lots of competitions in this position also for us. He was not that much in the spotlight so far, but I also want to mention also in a quite similar position Joe Roswell, because I think he has not played one bad pass since I worked with him together. I like his passing skills. I like what he does also in preseason, just due to the competition that we have in this positions with Islam Padu, with Ilya Gruev. They are top, and together with Joe, together with Ayo, I think we are really good right now also in this position, a bit the deeper midfield positions. And we are all happy that Ayo has finally arrived. And today he was the first time back also after his international duties at Thorpe Arch. And then right now we can start also to integrate him even a bit more.